What's good, Commanders fans? Just want to get you guys one more video before the weekend is over. Just talking about breakout candidates, players that I think that will improve next year, and just kind of that players that I think will have a big season, a big upcoming season for sure. Shout out to Sense for You. He commented about Veterans Day. Not to say Happy Memorial Day weekend. I know some people do say it, but respect to him, he said that he served as well. So shout out to him. Thank you for your service. And I understand what he was saying and where he's coming from. He commented on my last video and just kind of saying that it's not Happy Memorial Day. It's just recognized. And of course, we all know what Memorial Day is for, recognizing the soldiers and the guys and ladies that served this country and that, passed away during combat and, serving this country to keep us safe. So I just want to say shout out to all those people, all the people that have served for sure. And didn't mean any disrespect or anything like that. So thank you, Sense for You, for pointing that out. I know some people still say like Happy Memorial Day weekend and stuff like that, but I get it's not all about happiness, but it's just about thankfulness about the people who have served this country for sure to keep us safe for sure. So thank you for our strong soldiers, like I said, ladies and guys who have protected this country over the many years for sure. So, all right, let's get into football here. Like I said, I still want you guys to, of course, enjoy time with your family and whatnot. I will. And just the day off and whatnot, grilling, cooking out, things like that, so. But all right, let's go to the first guy here. I'm actually going to talk about an offensive lineman here. Let's talk about Sam Cosmi here. Now, he's in a contract year. I didn't even know. I just looked it up and just paying attention to kind of the guys who are going to be free agents next year. Of course, we have a lot of guys on one-year deals, but guys that we actually drafted. And Sam Cosmi, this is a contract year for him. So this is a big season for him. I know he played right tackle. I want to say he played a little bit of left tackle, had a lot of positional flex, was kind of moved around, didn't know what position he was going to play at one time. I know in the offseason interview after, I think, the 2022 season, he didn't know what position he was going to play next year. He was a little confused. He just said there's not a lot of direction for him, but it looked like he found his niche at right guard last year. He had the hand injury and whatnot. And he bounced back from that. But just looking at some of the numbers, he had a darn good season last year. He was one of the few bright spots on the offensive line, or probably the only bright spot on the offensive line last year. He's 25 years old right now. He went from allowing a pressure rate of 6.1% of his pass blocking snaps as an NFL sophomore 2 years ago to just 3.9% on significantly more snaps in 2023. So the pressure rate went down. The pressure percentage allowed went down. He only allowed 1 sack last year when we gave up 65 sacks. And some of it's not all on the offensive line because Sam Howell did hold on to the ball a little too long, trying to create and make something happen, make something shake. Some of it was on Sam. And just being to me with the play calling, just dropping Sam back so much. But for Sam Cosmi to only give up 1 sack out of the 65 sacks that were allowed last year, that's pretty darn good on Sam Cosmi's part. So a second-round pick that is hit. One of the few second-round picks that we could say in the last 10 to 15 years that is a good, solid, productive player for sure. You look at PFF. Sam Cosmi last year made PFF's top 101 players in football for 2023. He was the 98th best player out of 101 players. Now, I know it's the bottom of the list, but still, just make that list to something. I don't think he'll be on the top 100 player list. Who knows? We'll see, like the NFL player list that is picked by the players. We'll see, but he only had 1 sack allowed last year and then an 80.9 run blocking grade as well, which is pretty darn good per PFF. So, I know PFF is not the gospel and some people take it with a grain of salt, but it's just a good measuring stick for Sam Cosmi. So that all those numbers I just threw out, it could basically show that he already broke out. But, maybe there's some more untapped potential that we could see from him. And especially with a quarterback that Jaden Daniels, he may make it easier for the offensive line because he's a guy that can create and make something happen and avoid sacks. Now, I know the pressure sack rate in college was not great, but, more the running game, making the run game better because Jaden Daniels has to be accounted for as a runner. B-Rob has to be accounted for as a runner. Same thing with Austin Eckler. So you got a quarterback that's a dual threat quarterback that's going to put a lot of pressure on the defense. And that can certainly help the offensive line out with a better run game and a solid offense coordinator with Cliff Kingsbury as well. All right, so next guy, let's talk about Jahan Dotson. That's the easy one right there. He had a down season last year. Not a terrible season, but just for what we expected him to have. Didn't have his best season. Had a couple drops. I already talked about kind of the disconnect with him and the offensive coordinator. I just think they just didn't see eye to eye. The touchdowns went down. He played in more games. He played in how many games? He played in all 17 games and had less touchdowns, had the same amount of yards, only had 5 more yards. Catch rate was a 57% in 2022, his rookie season, but it went up actually to 59%. But we just see all the drops that he had. Like, he didn't have many, but they were just really noticeable. Like, just right in his hands. The Eagles game had a bad drop. The Falcons game had a bad drop. And once he made that one drop, it's kind of like he got in his own head. The enemy just didn't give him the ball. He didn't like one. It was one mistake and you're done. And that's it for Jahan. Where I feel like I'm not going to bring up the past. I know some people commented about the past and stuff. Don't bring it up. But it's just like one mistake and you're done for Jahan. And we don't have time for that this year. Now, if he makes a mistake, we got to go back to him, because other than Terry, Jahan, and Luke, is like where we're gonna get majority of our production from. Is gonna be James Crowder, is gonna be Olamide Zaccheaus, is gonna be De'Ami Brown, is gonna be Mitchell Tinsley, Damiere Byrd. Like, we just don't know after the top three guys. And we need a big year from Jahan. He's playing well in OTAs already, which is, like I said, you don't want to take too much stock in that either. But the one play that he made on Michael Davis, where it was a beautiful pass from Jaden Daniels, you see the physicality where he's using his hands to get open against press coverage and be more physical against corners. And that was kind of the knock on him. Will he be more in the slot position, where I think that's better suited for him, and Luke McCaffrey playing the X in practice right now? They're going to be moved around a lot in the no-huddle offense that B-Rob talked about too. But Jahan Dotson, he's so talented, man. Like, think about the Giants game last year. Think about the first season of his career, the first game of his career against the Jaguars, where he got open and just juked the guy out of his shoes and got a touchdown. That was a beautiful touchdown catch. I do think they need to use him in the red zone more. 7 touchdowns in 12 games. Like, he's a legitimate red zone threat. You don't have to be a 6'5" or a 6'5" tight end just to be used in the red zone, or running back. Like, you got to use Jahan Dotson in the red zone. Like, he's a legit red zone threat. Looking at some of his rookie year numbers, 80.1 success rate versus zone coverage, 87 percentile success rate versus press. His rookie year had a top 10 contested catch rate his rookie season as well. And you look at some of the route tree, man, he had a darn good route tree his rookie season. So I want to see him get back to that. Terry needs a really, really good number 2, and I think Jahan can do that. And he's a good yak guy too. The Giants game, the spin move against the Giants, where we tied and he had a touchdown. And then the Giants game where we lost at home on Sunday Night Football, that was a nice touchdown catch there too. Against Dallas, he had a nice touchdown catch. The Jaguars game, multiple times he stepped up big and had some really, really big plays his rookie year. So I want to see him get back to that. And I think he can be a 1,000-yard receiver. I really do. I think we can have at least 2 guys who can get 900 to 1,000 yards in a season. And I remember everybody got too hyped about Jahan. They were like, oh, he's going to be better than Terry. He's a better route runner, all this stuff. I was like, guys, slow down. Terry is clearly the best receiver on our team. I get we're excited about Jahan, but, you got to pump the brakes on that. And one thing I will say, I always talk about this, is the trade with Chris Olave. Chris Olave right now, I'll admit he's the better player between him and Jahan Dotson. Should we just have taken Chris Olave instead of trading back and getting Sam Howell, B-Rob, Cole Turner, who hasn't really done much, Sam Howell, who's on the Seahawks, and B-Rob is really good. B-Rob's really good. Jahan's really good too. So I still personally might have done that trade, but Terry and Chris Olave, that's a nasty duo to think about. So it's just something to think about, but it's neither here nor there. It's in the past. Like I said, we got to move on, and I'm a big Jahan Dotson fan. I want to get a Jahan Dotson t-shirt. I probably won't get a jersey, but I love the number 1. And he's a baller, man. He's a baller. He deserves the targets. He deserves more targets. He really does. All right, next on the list is, let's go with Quan Martin, man. I think he can step up and break out, because I think he's going to be more of a starter now. I know we have a lot of safeties. We got Derek Forrest, Jeremy Chin, Percy Butler. We'll see what happens with him. But we kind of have a good amount of safeties. We did, we moved on from Cam Curl. And in practice, we're hearing that, he's playing next to Jeremy Chin as the starting safety. So he'll probably be the free safety. And then Jeremy Chin will be the strong safety, like the hybrid nickel that Dan Quinn plays too, the star safety position. But Quan Martin, he has a knack of getting the football. He had an interception against Dallas, and then he had the game-sealing interception on Mac Jones against the Patriots. So he had a knack around being around the football. Now, the start for the season was a little rocky. He had a terrible preseason. The start of the season, he was more of a special teams guy for like the first 6, 7, 8 games of the year. Then he finally got comfortable, got more confident. I know Ron Rivera set him up with putting him on Tyreek Hill, but I'm not going to fault him for that. But, he started to make some big plays down the stretch of the year. He had 10 tackles against the Rams, a couple tackles for loss. He had a sack against the Rams as well. He was just being utilized as a chess piece. So I think he's very, very talented. I loved him coming out of Illinois. And he's a good tackler. He can, make plays. Ball is life for him too. He can turn the ball over. So I think he should be used a lot more. And Mikey Sanders still, he's going to be the slot corner, so we don't really have to worry about him playing slot. he'll be more of a safety guy, more that safety role. So I'm intrigued to see what Quan Martin does. I think he can break out and have a great year this year under Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. All right, next on the list. So that's 3 guys: Dotson, Cosme, and Quan Martin. I'll go with Emmanuel Forbes. I'm going to be nice to Forbes, man. Let's see what he does under Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn. Let's see if he can improve. He was playing with the ones in practice the other day. He was playing with the ones the other day as well, but came off the bench. He had a down year. I'm not the most confident guy in Emmanuel Forbes, but we'll just lean on the coaching staff with Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn. Can he learn from some of the mistakes he made last year? Can he be a better tackler? Can he have better instincts? Can he turn his head around? Can he not get big boyed by A.J. Brown and stuff like that? Just a lot of improvements that he can make and not go for interceptions against DJ Moore and whiff, and then DJ Moore scampers up the field for like 50 yards for a touchdown. So just a lot of things he can improve on, just getting his confidence up. And, we'll go from there. You look at Deron Bland, he improved under Joe Witt Jr. and Dan Quinn. Trayvon Diggs improved under the coaching staff in Dallas. That's here now. A big part of that was just revamping the roster there, bringing in Micah Parsons. He helped out with the pass rush. So can we get a pass rush here that can help out our corners too? And just a good scheme that can, get the best out of Emmanuel Forbes too. So he's a candidate. I'll say he's a candidate. I don't know if he will break out, but he's a breakout candidate. Quick guys, I'll go for honorable mention. Cole Turner, Amani Rogers. I'll just group these guys together. I know we have Ben Sinnott, we have Zach Ertz, but Amani Rogers, I remember before he got hurt, a lot of people were high on Amani Rogers, and he had a decent season. He had a decent game or two before he got injured because he was like the only guy that could provide some yak and had some speed on the roster. Ben Sinnott has speed to him too and can break a tackle. Like Logan Thomas just wasn't really able to do anything after the catch. But Amani Rogers, Cole Turner in the red zone, that's the last chance. This is really it for Cole Turner. This is the last chance for him, really. It is. And I'm not going to say he's going to make the roster because it's going to be, actually, he might not. It's going to be Zach Ertz, Ben Sinnott, and then John Bates. So after those 3, do you keep 4 tight ends? So it's hard to look at these guys as breakout candidates, but we'll see what happens with both these guys. I do like Amani Rogers. I do like his speed. I do like his yak ability. I think he's talented. I think Cole Turner's talented too. Played wide receiver in high school and is a good yak. He's a good, not yak guy, but a good chain mover. And in the preseason, he looked good with Sam. I was like, man, he's going to have a good year. And then it just didn't amount to anything. I guess he was at the beginning of his doghouse, just didn't get any playing time down the stretch. So it is what it is on that. Quickly, I'll go over De'Ami Brown. I mean, this is it for him. This is the last chance for him. I think this is a contract year for him too, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at his spot rack, but this is it for him. This is a make or break year for him. Like I said, we need a 3rd or 4th guy. We need a guy after Terry, Jahan, and Luke. Even Luke's he's not a sure thing either. We haven't seen him play a snap in the NFL yet, so we need some production after Terry and Jahan. So I'll just say after the first 2, we just don't know yet. We really don't. This is a contract year for De'Ami Brown. 2024 is his last year here contractually, so this is a make or break year for him. And 12 catches, being the highest receptions, a career high for him, is just not good over 3 seasons. It's just not good enough. He hasn't played well enough. Couple drops here and there, slipping in the red zone, stuff like that. Sam Howell was supposed to be the guy that could get the best out of him, just wasn't able to do that. And so, I mean, this is his last chance here with Jaden Daniels. So we'll see what happens here. And let's see if he even makes the roster with Olamide Zaccheaus here, James Crowder, guys like that. All right. And that's really about it. Emmanuel Forbes, I'll throw Jamin Davis in there a little bit because new coaching staff, using him as a pass rusher. We saw him in practice in a couple drills used as a pass rusher. Did a good job doing that. So this is the last chance for him too. His 5th-year option was not picked up, but can he have a breakout season under Dan Quinn and Joe Witt Jr. too as a pass rusher? So if there's anybody else on the list that you guys think that I missed, anybody that could be a potential breakout candidate, just let me know. You can comment down below and let me know that. Just look at some other guys, maybe. Yeah, that's about it, really. That's really about it. Because I'm not going to say any rookies. People say rookies all the time, like Jaden Daniels, like they're a rookie. You have to have a year under your belt to break out, in my opinion, or improve. And that's my definition of breakout players. I say that every year. Some people say Ben St. Juice, but we say that every year about him. And it just hasn't really been consistent. I'll say that. But, and that's about it. All right, you guys let me know what you guys think. Hell Commanders. Peace.